This is the recently revised Toyota C-HR, and it's a little bit like a P45. Now, if you're not British, let me explain. You see, a P45 is the official government document you get when you leave your place of employment, usually because you've been sacked. So, telling you this link, do you get it? This car's called the C-HR. Go see Human Resources. You've done something wrong, you're going to get fired. Yeah, that took some explaining. So will the positioning of this car. You see, in terms of size, it's sort of similar to a Skoda Kamiq or a Peugeot 2008. But in terms of pricing, it's more like their bigger brothers, the Karoq and the Peugeot 3008. You see, it starts from £25,000, though you can save an average of just over £2,000 off one through CarWow. Now, to do that, you can actually go and do that via our app. So if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can download the app from the Apple Store or the Play Store. If you do not want to do that and you want to do it just the more traditional way, just Google CarWow and you can go to our car comparison website, check out reviews, check out deals on new and nearly new cars, and there's leasing and stuff there as well. So go check it out. Let's kick off this review by talking about the C-HR's design. I've always loved the look of this car. It's super striking, really good looking thing, and they tweaked it slightly. So the car now has, did you see that? It now has scrolling indicators. Wow! Also, the lights at the back are integrated into this lower spoiler. You've got another spoiler up there as well. Don't know what's going on here. It's like they were going to do some fake exhaust, but then they realised they were too massive to even look fake. They just look ridiculous, so they didn't bother completing them. So there's going to be no poking with a stick here because there's no fake vents. As well as tweaking the back end ever so slightly, there's some new alloy wheel designs. There's some new colours, including this burnt orange, which looks really good. And you can get the car in two-tone paint, which this one has, though Toyota calls it bi-tone. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure which way I swing, you know, sometimes I swing left, sometimes I swing right. I can have a black roof and an orange body, I don't care, I'm just easy. I have no idea what I'm going on about, sorry. Anyway, at the front, they've changed it a bit as well. Not massively, so the lights are slightly different, and let me get the keys out again. The indicators are now here. I like that. Also, it's got a slightly lower front bumper as well to make it look even more sporty. You might find it hard to just pick out the differences compared to the old car. So what I'm going to do now is show you clips of the old car. Now, can you see the differences? They're not great, are they? But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is a superb and striking looking small SUV. It keeps doing that. I don't know why. It keeps locking itself. I hope I can get in it. Oh yeah, I can. I've got the key. Stupid. The quirky theme continues here on the inside of the C-HR, and yet again there's some minor changes. So they've improved some of the materials on the door in places that you're likely to touch, just so it feels a bit more premium. There are still some cheaper plastics lower down, especially down here on the door bins. Look at that flex there, that's awful. I don't know why you'd be doing that. But anyway, just trying to make a point. Then there's the design thing that continues through, like the diamonds everywhere. So you've got diamonds here, diamonds on the roof, there's like diamond shapes here. Even the stereo speakers have some diamond theme going on as well. It's pretty nice to sit in. I do like this car. They've also upgraded the seats, so they're slightly better than before, although they're really comfy in the previous version of this car. So that's an added bonus. They've also updated the infotainment system, which is the biggest bonus of all. And that brings me on to this car's specs. The entry-level model is called the Icon, and it's pretty much got all the kit you need. So I say just get that car. Get stuff like this touchscreen with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Look, I've got Android Auto up there, so I can just use the mapping for that. You also get dual zone climate control and a reversing camera. The next level up is called the Design, and that gets an electrically operated driver's seat. The front seats are also heated. You get front and rear parking sensors, 18-inch alloys instead of the normal 17s, plus an auto park feature, so the car will park itself into a space. So really, if you need that, you shouldn't be blooming driving, all right? Get off the road. Then there's the dynamic model, which includes the two-tone paint with the black roof, LED tail lamps, puddle lighting to light your way as you climb into the car when it's dark at night. It also gets rear cross traffic alert to prevent you reversing out into oncoming traffic, in addition to the standard fit auto emergency braking that you get on all models. Next is the XL, which has leather seats, silver dashboard trims and a heated steering wheel. Finally, there's the Orange Edition, which has, as you guessed it, this orange paint scheme and a JBL stereo. Let's continue the review by talking about this infotainment system. So you've got these shortcut buttons down the side, which makes it easy to select different functions as you're driving, because you can feel your way through them. The screen, the graphics, they're all right, you know, they're not the best, and the icons are a little bit kind of old-fashioned looking. The design version, which is the second trim up, gets inbuilt satellite navigation as standard, and it's all right to use in putting destinations and waypoints. It's quick enough, but it's just not as good as going and using your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay with Google Maps always. Much prefer that system, and thank God Toyota has finally fitted Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to its cars. It's about bloody time, really, isn't it? Moving on to a little screen you get between the dials. Well, it's very small, so it's very, very basic information. You get a bigger screen available on the Nissan Juke, and the Nissan Juke actually offers a similar kind of quirky looking SUV thing, but for less money. And if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can check out my review of that car and see the best deals you can get on the Nissan Juke as well. Great. Anyway, continuing with the actual interior of this car. So connectivity, it's all right. There's just one USB there which you use to connect to your phone. There's a 12-volt socket in there, and that's your light in here. I can't believe that. Really? That's it. Anyway, practicality, looked in there. That's quite a good cubby. You got a decent sized cup holder there. Look. It's perfect for your coffee. See, perfect for it. And there's another one here. So I want to put my Coke in there, but look, it looks a little bit shallow. Ah, you'll see, Toyota have thought of this. It's got this little step in it, so you can actually put things all the way. Wait a minute. I was going to say, what the heck is? Who's had this car before me? It's obviously a baboon. Look, it's got a bright red arse. Whose is that? Anyway, look. See, that's great for taller bottles. And then in the door bins, you can just about squeeze an absolutely massive bottle. As for the glove box, it's very, very, very average. But overall, practicality is pretty decent in this car. What's not so decent though is the layout of some of the stuff. So here's all my climate control, great. Heated seats, there, yeah, okay, that's fine, they're over here. But then the heated steering wheel buttons over here. Then the auto park features over there, but the rest of the driving stuff's over here. Okay, Toyota, you want me to have to search around to find things. I see, I get that, it's part of your game. In terms of getting comfy though, is the lever there. Look, enough adjustment in that, and you can get enough adjustment in the seat. Though, it's quite a low roof, so if you're really tall, you may find it's a bit lacking in headroom, this car. It's all right for leg room though. You can really put the seat all the way back. That is all right. But is it all right in the back seats? Well, let's find out. So the first thing to note is that, well, knee room is all right. Yup. Headroom is not so all right. That's the price of this sloping roofline. If I sit up dead straight, my head is touching the roof. Someone over 6 foot will struggle for headroom. And that brings me on to what it's like with 3 people in the back at once. While it's all right in the middle seat because it's kind of squidgy, the body's quite narrow, so everyone's struggling for shoulder room. Also, the people on the outside get pushed up against this sloping roofline. So even shorter people end up banging their head against there, which isn't great. Foot space isn't great either when you've got 3 people's feet trying to fill up these small wells. In terms of fitting a baby seat, well, you've got these flip-off Isofix covers, which, you bend your nail back when you flip them off. I hate it when that happens. And you might lose fucking things. Once you remove them, you can get at the Isofix points quite easily. The only problem is that the doors don't open all that wide, so you do have to kind of work the child seat in, and if you've got one of those big bulky rear facing seats, you're going to have to move this front passenger seat forward to fit it in here. Biggest problem for me though in the back of this car is the fact that you've got quite small rear windows, so it does feel quite dark and gloomy back here. And then there's the cup holders, which are fine for bottles like this, but they're not very deep really, so you can't really keep any other stuff in the door bins. You do have some pockets on the seat backs to just shove stuff in and lose it, no doubt, but yeah, that's about it really. It's all right in the back. And let's face it, kids are going to be on their mobile devices most of the time, so they probably won't mind the fact that the windows are tiny, but at least they go all the way down. Biggest problem though is, look, yet again, where the hell are the USB inputs so I can charge my kid's iPad or whatever to keep them quiet on the journey? They're going to run out of battery, they're going to start talking to you, and that's just going to drive you nuts. Let's check out the boot anyway. So this car has a low capacity of 377 litres, which is a little bit smaller than other similar size SUVs, but not by much. However, if you're one of these cars with a big ass boot, check out the Ford Puma. Yeah, the new version, not the old coupe thing. And if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can check out my review of that new car. The boot is quite square, so it's easy to pack. It's a bit of a lip to lift things over, but not much, so you can actually just do that to it. And this is hard wearing plastic, and look, oh, more diamonds, how cool is that? There's some tethering points here, some hooks to hang things off here and here, some extra space under here as well. So that's all good. Another thing that's good is this. When you fold the seats down, they do lie completely flat, so it's easy to push other items. Other items? Big bulky items to the front of the car. My nail's still hurting from earlier. I've like ripped, I'm gonna have to get some nail clippers. And that brings me on to 5 annoying things about the Toyota CHR. The rear seat backs are super wide, and that means that if you're in the back, it's quite hard to see forward. Look, it's really, really hard to see what's going on. It's really hard, isn't it, like that? See what's also annoying? The way this roofline slopes inward and you've got these blooming grab handles here, it's so easy to bang your head on them, and you can do it when you're getting out of the car. That really hurt, actually. Annoyingly, you can't fit the parcel shelf underneath the boot floor like that, so you have to leave it in there. But of course I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw it. That literally flew. Now all you people are probably going, don't treat the car like that, but I'm just getting my revenge for what it's done to me so far in this video by banging my head on it and hurting my nail. The inbuilt sat-nav takes forever to calculate a route, and I'll illustrate that now by selecting Edinburgh and see how many laps of the car I can run in the time it takes it to work out the route. Let's do this. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Oh, that was almost 5 laps. That's just ridiculous. This car's supposed to be an SUV. Well, trying to be anyway. But the doors don't extend over the sills. In fact, the way they've designed them, because this bit pops out, you end up getting a lot of dirt on here. And then when you get out, you definitely just rub it all over the backs of your trousers. I think this compartment here is designed for your mobile phone, but look at this. Mobile phone of modern size. No chance. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5. This little sticky out bit of plastic here actually controls the airflow, so it splits over the door mirror so you don't get a wind whistly sound. In fact, on this revised version of the CHR, Toyota's engineers have improved 11 different locations of sound insulation, such as the door sills and absorption pads, to make it quieter than ever. Check this out, look, you've got some separate runners for the seat belts so that they don't snag on the seat backs when you fold them down. Wait a minute, there's actually some more diamond design under there, which you never get to see. What's the point of that, boys and girls? And non-binary people. Yeah, I hope I don't have to go CHR for that pointless joke. Toyota's new 2-litre petrol engine is pretty high tech. In fact, it has a thermal efficiency of 41%, which is about as good as it gets for a production car. To achieve that, Toyota's had to 3D print many of the parts inside it, so it's super tight in terms of tolerances. Also, it's about 20% lighter than the old Toyota 2-litre engine, weighs in at 113 kilos, which is pretty impressive. The battery pack to power the electric motor of the car's hybrid system is underneath the rear seats, so it doesn't actually eat into boot space, which is handy. In fact, there's 180 cells in this particular car. Oh, wait a minute, look, there's some more diamonds here, and on the speaker grill as well. Being a Toyota, you get a 5-year warranty. Look, it says so under here. It says it there, and we might have to claim for a new rear windscreen wiper motor. Oops. Right, and let's talk about engines. Now, it's pretty simple. You can now only get the CHR as a petrol electric hybrid. There's a 1.8 hybrid, which has 122 horsepower, or, where's the bloody, there it is. Or there's the 2-litre hybrid, which has 184 horsepower. Economy-wise, they both promise around 50 miles per gallon. They both get automatic gearboxes, and they're both front-wheel drive. Now, which is the best one to go for? Do you know what? I'm going to go on CarWow, and I'm going to configure what I think is the best engine and trim choice for the Toyota CHR, and I'm going to get some offers back. There, I've done that. Now, if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can find out what I think is the best Toyota CHR for you to buy and the best offers available on it as well. So go check it out. Now let's see what this Toyota CHR is like to drive. So in town, it's really good. Suspension is brilliant over bumps. You hardly feel them at all. Also, being a hybrid, you can just cruise around in electric only mode for short distances, and it's silent. It's really quiet. And if you need to accelerate, the engine does kick in, but it's very, very seamless and smooth. What's not so smooth though, the brakes. So press them a bit, nothing happens. Press them a bit more, then you're like that. Part of the reason is the braking actually regenerates lost energy and puts it back into the battery. So there's this weird transition between the actual motor doing the braking and the actual brakes doing the braking. And so it's a bit hard to judge, which can get on your nerves. Also can get on your nerves is the turning circle, which is absolutely fine, but it's about a metre less than some other small SUVs. So U-turn wise, it's not the tightest turning, but it's still okay. Look, oh, there we go. Oh gosh, actually that's not bad at all. What the hell was that? More feel sick now. When you get out onto the motorway, the 2-litre version of the CHR, which this car is pretty punchy. So combined petrol propulsion and electric motor gives you instant response. And then you can hear that though, as you're accelerating, you get this groaning sound. It's due to the nature of the gearbox. Basically what it does is hold the engine at constant revs for maximum performance, and then the gearbox does its thing to make you increase the speed. That's why you get that weird noise. You think a hybrid's going to be efficient, and indeed this one is. So I'm averaging almost 44 miles per gallon, which is similar economy you'll get from a diesel in real world driving, but obviously this is a petrol, so you don't have that whole kind of diesel smelliness on your hands when you fill it up, or the fact that diesel probably isn't quite so good for the environment. Finally then, let's see what this CHR is like on a twisty road. So it can go round corners all right. It doesn't roll about too much, lean. It's got enough grip. It does a fine job. Would I say it was fun? It's adequate. It's adequate. Thing is though, I know this car underneath the skin is very, very similar to the Toyota Corolla, but because the Corolla's lower to the ground, that just feels sharper to drive, and dare I say it, actually a bit of fun on a twisty road. So really, you've got to question whether you want this. You're going to pay the extra for this for the styling, really. But if you want to save some cash, just get the Corolla. I think it's brilliant. In fact, click on the pop-out banner up there to watch my in-depth video review of that car. I'll probably just have the Corolla to tell you the truth. Although I do love the look of this thing. So then, what's my final verdict on the revised Toyota CHR? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should consider the CHR. I love the way it looks and it's nice to drive, but it's just a little bit too expensive, and it could do with being a touch more practical. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to like it. I'll give it a thumbs down if you feel that way inclined. Also, let me know what you think about the Toyota CHR in the comments box below, and of course subscribe to this channel. If you want to watch some more videos, they're in the boxes below, and if you want to see how much you can save on your car, just click on the box over there and I will have my... What the heck was that? I will have my best pick of the Toyota CHR and the best deals on it for you to check out. And don't worry, look, the windscreen wiper didn't break. I think it's just had some kind of like fail-safe mechanism just in case some moron motoring journalist messes with it. This is the new Toyota Corolla, and it's a little bit like the Russian city of St. Petersburg. They both had their names changed to alter their image, but that didn't really work, so they went back to their original names. St. Petersburg was called Leningrad for a while. The Toyota Corolla was called the Auris for a while. You know, this is Toyota's answer to the Ford Focus and the Volkswagen Golf, but the starting price is just a little bit more than those cars. So yeah, it starts from £21,000, but you can save almost £2,000 on one through CarWow. Now, if you want to see how much you can save on a new car, or to just make sure you're paying the right price for a car you're looking at, click up there on the pop-out banner in the top right corner of the screen, or on the link below the video to go to CarWow. You can check out our latest deals from our reputable dealers. Now, the Auris and the old Toyota Corolla before it had a reputation for being worthy but dull cars. But look at this one, it's not, it's exciting. I mean, this is the range topping version, so you have stuff like bigger wheels and some shinier bits of trim. The lesser models aren't quite so swanky, but they are still pretty cool looking. And the grille, it stands out. You've got these sleek headlamps. Oh my gosh, a Toyota hatchback that is interesting to look at. Please, please, please continue on the inside. Will it? Oh yes, they have. I really like the look of this interior. It's got so much unique style to it. Quality is pretty good as well. It's all nice and squidgy. Things feel solid too. And then there's the switches, they're nicely damped. Even the climate control switches, nice feel to them. Metal edges on them as well. You've got sweeping metal trim here, metal effect trim here. But then there are a few Toyotaisms. For instance, this bit of plastic here is cheap. Also, what's with this difference between the dash and the door top? I mean, I could probably store a bottle of water up there. Yes, I can. And then there's this, look, so this is super squidgy, this armrest, really nice when you're driving, but this central armrest is hard as you like. And then there's some other Toyotaisms, the way buttons are grouped in a kind of random fashion. Down here's all your driving buttons. Yet over here, there are some more driving related buttons. And the automatic high beam function is over there, yet the rest of the lights are up here on the stalk. And then there's this, look. So this is an area, I think, for your mobile phone, but it doesn't fit a mobile phone particularly well. In terms of other storage, look, you can fit bottles in there. Storage under here isn't so great. There is a 12-volt socket. The door bins are okay. I can just about fit a really big bottle in them, so it's passable. And the glove box, if you try and hurry it, it goes, no! I'll take my own time, thank you very much. Can't fault the driving position though, it's absolutely brilliant. It usually is on Toyotas, to be fair. Decent amount of adjustment in the steering wheel, and of course you can alter the height of the driver's seat if you're short, and push it all the way down if you're very, very tall, and then there's plenty of headroom, and you can slide it all the way back as well. So it's not a problem to get comfortable. And my favourite thing about these seats, classic Toyota again, is there's the release mechanism for the backrest, so you can just go straight down and back up without having to do it on a ratchet like you have to on most European cars. Another thing I love is the steering wheel itself. It feels quite expensive, and it's leather coated regardless of which model you go for. And that brings me on to the car's equipment list. The Corolla range kicks off with the Icon, and it gets an 8-inch touchscreen, heated seats with adjustable lumbar support for the driver, and dual zone climate control. There's also semi-autonomous driving tech, so it's a cruise control system which will use radar technology to keep you a safe distance from the car in front, and it'll even steer to keep you safely in lane. And it's amazing that you get that right across the range. The next level up is Icon Tech, and that adds some extra gadgets such as parking sensors, a reversing camera, and auto park, so it'll do the steering for you to get you into space. It also adds inbuilt satellite navigation for the infotainment system, and a larger digital screen for the driver which shows more information than the standard smaller screen. To all that, the design adds some styling upgrades such as rear privacy glass. Excuse me. You also get some side skirts to make it look more sporty. It also adds LED fog lights. At the top of the range is the XL, which is what this car is, and it has 18-inch alloy wheels, bi-LED headlights, and a snazzy satin surround for the grille. There's comfy body-hugging sport seats too, and red stitching on the dash, and keyless entry. However, all these extras are a little bit superfluous. Really, the sweet spot in the range is the Icon Tech, as it has all the kit you really need. The last thing to talk about here in the front is the tech itself. So the infotainment system isn't very high resolution, but at least it's colourful. The menus are laid out clearly and you get plenty of physical shortcut buttons, which is handy. Also, it's pretty logical, but the screen isn't very responsive to your touch. It can be a bit slow. You can control certain things with voice commands, but it's very limited what you can actually do with it. It is easy to input a destination into the sat-nav, but it takes a while for the system to calculate a route and to add a waypoint. Now for me, the biggest problem with this infotainment system is the fact that it doesn't come with Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto. However, it will be added in future, and if you buy a car now, you'll be able to have it retrofitted. Moving on to the digital driver's display, you can look through different menus and go through different functions. However, the information you can see on there isn't quite as extensive as you can get with VW's digital driver's display on the Golf, though you do have to pay extra for that. Now, if you want to see my full in-depth video review of the Volkswagen Golf, especially because it's got a better infotainment system, click up there on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video. Now, let's move on to the Auris's back seats. And the first thing to note is that the rear doors don't open all that wide. Another thing is that, well, it's just a little bit more cramped in the back in terms of knee room than its key competitors. Headroom, that's all right-ish. The main problem is this, the sloping roofline. So when you look to the right, you're just staring at that, and the window seems quite low down, so that all makes it feel a bit dark and dingy in here, especially with this black interior trim. One saving grace is that the rear windows do go all the way down. So the materials here are hard plastics, though it's the same story in the back of a Volkswagen Golf. Though this armrest here is absolutely lovely, so it's quite good to just lean on if you're on a longer journey. But what about if you need to carry 3 people at once? Well, there's not too big a hump in the floor. The middle seat, when just sat here on your own, is just about all right. However, with 2 people either side of you, the narrow body means that it feels really cramped for shoulder space. Also, the people on the outer seats will have a bigger problem with that sloping roofline because their heads will be rubbing up against it. And if they've got long legs, they'll really notice that limited rear knee room as well. Also want to point out this, yes, you do have an armrest, a couple of cup holders, which is quite handy. What is missing from here, though, is any kind of like charging ports in the rear. It's like kids are going to be back here and they're going to want to charge their mobile devices. You do have some backseat pockets which are a bit flimsy, but will hold an iPad. In terms of fitting a child seat though, well, yeah, the Isofix covers, they're quite easy to remove. Fitting the child seat itself is okay, but it's hard to maneuver it into the back seats. Once again, because those rear doors are quite small and because of the limited space back here. And if you have 2 child seats in the back, there's no way you can fit someone in between them. Right, fine, let's talk about the boot. So in terms of the actual capacity, it's a little bit smaller than a Volkswagen Golf's and a Vauxhall Astra's, and quite a bit smaller than a Honda Civic. In fact, if you want to see my review of a Honda Civic, click up there on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video. Anyway, for most people, this size will still be just about okay. Now, yeah, I should point this out, look, there is a bit of a load lip here, and the bumper extends quite a way, so you do have to hoik things out and over. But this boot, as it is, doesn't tell the whole story. If you can notice here, there's some ridges. So you can get this car with a space saver spare wheel, and then you get a cover, and then there is no boot lip really, because then you get this false floor. Without it though, look, when I fold the rear seats down, you get this huge ridge, which isn't ideal, is it? So yeah, speak to your dealer and make sure you get that thing fitted. In terms of other practical features though, yeah, there's some tie down hooks there and there. There's also a little hook there where you can hang a shopping bag off. Now, with the seats folded, there is space for a bike with its wheels attached. Also, 2 large boxes will fit across the back seats, and there's space for 8 smaller boxes and a couple of soft bags, so it's actually all right. And if you put the seats back up, underneath the load cover, there's space for 1 large suitcase, 1 small suitcase, and if you want to fit a baby buggy, it'll go there on its side as well. You'll easily fit a set of golf clubs in the boot as well, but there's no place to store the load cover if you want to take out the car. So yeah, you can either leave it there or just do what I sometimes do and just chuck them into the bushes like that. Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car. The definition of the reversing camera is pretty low resolution, and those guidelines for parking don't actually move when you turn the steering wheel, so they're not actually that much help. If you have the 2-litre hybrid version of this car, because the engine is slightly bigger, the 12-volt battery has to be moved from the front to the rear, which means it actually eats into the boot space. You have a bit less load capacity, and so there's no way I'll be able to sit quite so comfortably. In most cars, if you want to turn off the parking sensor so it stops beeping, such as when you're
filming about how bad the reversing camera is, you just press a button. On this car though, you have to go into a menu using the buttons on the steering wheel and turn it off that way, and it's all a little bit of a faff. You don't get door bins here in the back, just a cup holder. So you can only fit like a bottle or a cup in there. However, it actually says for you not to fit a cup. Oh. For quite an aggressive looking car, it has a really wimpy sounding horn. Listen to this. It's a little bit like, oh, sorry, would you mind getting out of the way?
It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car.
This little fin here near the door mirror, and another one integrated into the headlight, help reduce wind turbulence so you get less wind whistle when you're driving on the motorway. A lot of cars of this size have a torsion beam rear suspension where the 2 rear wheels are joined by a beam, and that means they're not so good at going over bumps because they are attached. More expensive versions of certain cars of this size have independent rear suspension. However, all versions of the Toyota Corolla have independent rear suspension, so they're just better at riding down the road smoothly. Oh, yeah, this new Corolla is 60% stiffer in its body than the old Auris, and that should make it feel more sturdy. The car gets loads of the latest safety kit to stop you having an accident. For instance, it will automatically brake if it thinks you're going to reverse into something such as your Presenter. You get a 5-year warranty, which is 2 years better than most manufacturers offer. Plus, Toyotas do have a reputation for being pretty reliable anyway. You can get the Toyota Corolla with 3 different engine choices. So the entry-level one is a 1.2 litre turbo petrol, and that's fine for just nipping around town. But I reckon you're better off upgrading, spending an extra £2,000 for the 1.8 litre hybrid, which is what this is. So you've got an electric motor and a battery to help boost economy and give you tax-busting emissions. Now, the engine isn't the fastest, 0 to 60 in just under 11 seconds. So if you want a bit more performance, you can get a 2 litre hybrid version, which gives you economy and decent performance, 0 to 60 in just under 8 seconds. So yeah, quite quick actually. However, it will cost you an extra £4,000, so it's probably not worth doing. Now, what is worth doing is going onto CarWow and plugging in the details of the car you want. So I've plugged in the details of this 1.8 litre hybrid XL version of the Corolla, and I've got an offer back from one of our reputable dealers for £25,000, so saving of £2,000 over list. So if you're thinking about buying a car such as this, go and check out our configurator to make sure you're getting a good deal, and you can do that just by clicking that pop-out banner up there, or by following the link below the video, or just Google Toyota Corolla CarWow. Let's see what this new Toyota Corolla is like to drive in town. So one of the best things for me about this hybrid version is that you can drive around at slower speeds on electric power alone for short distances. So it's really super quiet, and then if you need a burst of speed, the engine comes in to provide some added propulsion. It's all quite smooth. Of course, you've got the automatic gearbox, which is just smooth as well. And so is the suspension over bumps. It's not bad at all. Yeah, speed humps aren't an issue in town. Even really bad surfaces such as this here don't upset the car that much. It just deals with them without fidgeting too much. Right, and let's see what this Corolla is like to park. Now, as you're slowing down, the first bit of braking actually recharges the batteries, and that can make the brakes feel a little bit grabby. What I'm going to do is put the auto parking on, so it's looking that way for the space. Let's see when it finds it. I'll put it into reverse now. Take my hands off the wheel, and the car should automatically park. Let's see how it gets on this system. It's telling me to carry on going backwards. The sensors are doing their thing, and it's got it into space. There we go. And then stop and forwards. Oh, I just want to try something. There we go. Yes, it did it. Thank God! It applied the brakes automatically because it thought I was going to hit the vehicle in front. Now, I could have got into that space quite easily myself. Yeah, trust me. Now, if I had been doing it myself, one of the issues I might have had is the fact that the visibility from these pillars isn't great. There's quite a thick rear pillar there as well. Finally, let's check the manoeuvrability by going round this mini roundabout. So this Corolla actually has quite a tight turning circle. It's a little bit better than on something like a Volkswagen Golf. So yeah, it makes it really easy to just like nip about in traffic around town and do U-turns and stuff. This new Corolla is really comfy to drive on the motorway. So the seats, they're great. It's quiet really as well, not too much wind noise or road noise. The only problem is when you put your foot down in a hybrid. So listen to this. So I need to overtake someone, 50 miles an hour to come on to 70. That's 70. Now, it wasn't the fastest, but it wasn't the slowest either, but that noise you get from the automatic gearbox of the hybrid, it does just kind of drone on a little bit. Still, what I can't fault is the economy, so I've done quite a few miles in this car, mixture of town and motorway driving, and I've averaged 58 miles per gallon. So yeah, you do not need a diesel. That is impressive. For me, the biggest surprise about this Toyota Corolla is what happens when you get out on a twisty road, because it's actually really good. So it steers sharply, it stays flat, it grips well in the corners. It's not quite a sporty feeling as a Ford Focus, but this is a car that people who enjoy driving will enjoy driving. Now, if you want to be sure you're paying a fair price on a Toyota Corolla, click on the pop-out banner just up there in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or follow the link below the video to go to CarWow to check out the best offers from our trusted Toyota dealers. So then, what's my final verdict on the Corolla? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, it's not completely perfect, but it's still a really, really good car. And if you're looking for a great value hybrid hatchback, yeah, you should just go right ahead and buy it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Now, did you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. If you want to watch another video, check out my in-depth review of the Ford Focus down there, or down there for my review of the Volkswagen Golf versus the Focus and the Kia Ceed. And if you want to see how much you can save on a Toyota Corolla, almost said Avensis then, click on the box over there to make sure you're paying a good price. This is the new Toyota Camry, and it's a little bit like the Spice Girls. Hi, I'm Terry Halliwell, zigga zigga ah. Let me explain. You see, the Spice Girls haven't been around in the UK for 15 years, and neither has the Camry, but they're both making a comeback, and they've got better with age. Look, there's the old Camry, looks pretty ugly. This new one's good looking. There's the Spice Girls back in the day. I think they're all better looking now, apart from maybe Jerry. So this is the kind of car you're probably considering if you're looking at something like a Volkswagen Passat or Vauxhall Insignia. So the Camry, let me get my phone back out again, starts from around £30,000, as you can see here on the CarWow website. In fact, if you want to see how much money you can save on a new car, click on the pop-out banner up there, or follow the link below the video to go to CarWow to see the best deals from our trusted dealers. Let's start this review by talking about the Camry's design. Now, I'm really liking the look of the latest Toyotas, and this is no exception. It's got nice wide hips, cool looking rear end. I'm loving this brown metallic paint. It's super cool, as is the way the rear lights just bend around the side of the cars. Now, this is the XL version, so it comes on 18-inch alloy wheels. The entry-level design comes on 17, but they don't look that bad either. In fact, here's a quick clip of that car there. Now, at the front, it's very distinctive, very Toyota-y, and it works really well. This XL also gets some LED upgrades in terms of LED fog lights and indicators, which I'll just show you now. Look, there they are, snazzy, eh? Not really worth upgrading for, though, I wouldn't say. Do you know what? I quite like the interior design of this car. It's definitely unique, and there's quite a lot going on in terms of swooshes and shapes and stuff like that. Quality is a bit mixed though. So it's like different parts of the interior were built by different people, and they never talked to each other, and they clearly had different standards. So the guy responsible for the materials on the dash and the doors and stuff obviously has very high standards. However, the guy responsible for these bits down here, I mean, look at that, and this, look. This centre console clearly had low standards. I mean, look, that's terrible, isn't it? I mean, I know Toyotas will not break, but perceived quality just makes you feel good about yourself, and that's why the Germans do so well. Still, the damping of the controls are quite nice, and there's some touches that I do enjoy, like this effect here and up here as well. I like it, though the pattern does sort of remind me of the eyes of a horsefly, so it's freaking me out a bit. What's also freaking me out a bit are the holes here on the speakers. It's really triggering my trypophobia. You don't know what that is, do you? Look it up. Then someone be kind enough to post it in the comments so others can see. Now, one thing that does do my head in though is this area here. So there's a lot of black plastic and quite a small screen. And that brings me on to this car's specs. The Camry range kicks off with the design, and that includes an infotainment system with inbuilt satellite navigation, another screen between the two analog dials, and dual zone climate control. It also has heated seats, keyless entry, and fully automated cruise control, which will use radar to keep you a safe distance from the car in front and steer to prevent you weaving out of your lane. The only other trim level is this range topping XL, and it includes an auto dimming rear view mirror, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and some shiny bits of trim. Right, and let's talk about that infotainment system. So not only is the screen quite small, but the resolution is low. At least it's colourful though, eh? Also, the menus are quite well laid out, and there's huge physical shortcut buttons that are dead easy to hit while driving. You do have some voice commands as well, but they're really quite limited. Also, the sat-nav is only okay, and inputting a destination is quite fiddly. The screen is quite laggy on the map as well, which is annoying. What's also annoying is that digital driver's display is pretty useless. It doesn't really show that much information, really, just a bit of trip stuff and general power flow. Yeah, I think overall the infotainment system you get on a Vauxhall Insignia is superior, and if you click up there on the pop-out banner you can watch my full in-depth video review of that car. So let's carry on with the interior of this and the ergonomics. So I like the fact you have electric operation for the steering wheel, and there's plenty of adjustment in the driver's seat as well. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, you'll be able to get comfy, and these seats are super comfy. I actually love Toyota seats, very, very nice. Also, sometimes Toyotas can have a weird layout of buttons, so they're just in random places. This is much better. Things are in a sensible position, so dead easy to figure out where they are. And because you've got physical buttons, it may make it look a little bit like it's from the 90s, but it's dead easy to just operate stuff while you're driving rather than having to do everything through a touchscreen like you do in an Audi. Now, in terms of practicality, it's actually pretty good. So look at this, door bins. They don't look that big, but that's a litre bottle and you can fit that in there, no problem at all. You've got some cup holders here, which can cope with various sizes of coffee cups like that, so you won't end up knocking the lid off smaller ones. Love this feature. You have a wireless charging pad there, and you can slide it backwards out the way so your phone doesn't distract you, and you get an extra bit of storage down there as well. I think that's a brilliant idea. And then there's some charging points there as well. Look, there's your 12 volt. Under here, you've got some more room, and the glove box, that's a decent size as well. The Camry is really practical here in the back seat. So as you can see, I've got plenty of room. This rear seat is super comfy. It's nicely reclined, although you can actually recline it further, but you don't need to. The seat base is long, so you get lots of under thigh support, loads of knee room. I mean, look at that. There's tons of it. Wish I could just slide my feet a little bit further under the seat in front, but it's not too bad. Headroom is a little bit on the tight side though. That's probably the only minor issue. Want to check something else out as well. Look at this, go, 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 go. Yes! They go all the way down so you can lean out, and I've just hit my head on there. That highlights another problem. Let's say you've got 3 people in the back at once. This middle seat is actually all right and headroom's just about okay here, but people in the out seats get pushed outwards slightly because the body is a bit narrow, and then they end up hitting their head on there, just like I did a moment ago while trying to do a demonstration to you guys. Another thing I'm not so keen about is this, the hump in the floor, but it's not that big a deal because the footwells are big, so 3 people can easily have enough space for their feet. Rest of the practicality is okay, so look at that. Well, that just flops down. Classic Toyota random build quality again. And this as well, that is such a cheap flat, but that's handy. Look there, you can keep your drinks in there. There's also enough space in the door bins for 2 bottles. And check this out as well, you get marsupial style pouches in the seat backs. Yeah, and then there's some charging points there for your mobile devices. As for fitting a baby seat, well, the Camry's ISOFIX covers are removable, but that does mean they're easy to lose. However, the anchor points are dead simple to get to. It's also easy to get the seat inside because the doors open wide enough, but you will have to move the front seat slightly forward if you want to lock in a rear-facing seat or a bigger seat, and that could annoy toilet drivers in the front. If you have 2 child seats in the back of the Camry, there is just about enough space to squeeze an adult between them, though they wouldn't be that comfy, which would make it ideal for the mother-in-law. Yes, mother-in-law jokes. Just like the early 1990s, which was when the Camry was last on sale. Right guys, let's talk about the Camry's boot. So being a saloon, it's not as practical as a hatchback, but you do have quite a wide opening for this kind of car. There isn't too much of a low lip either, so you can get suitcases in that quite easily. Look at that, absolutely knackered suitcases. It's probably something to do with the way I treat them. So it's a bit of a hit and miss affair, this boot. The actual size is reasonable. You can fit quite a lot of stuff in it. And there's some features I like as well. Not the fact that you've got underfloor storage, because really there's not much at all. It's things like this, look, the way you can just hook that up on there like that. Then there's some other things that are less cool. See that? Then look at this. These are supposed to be hooks to hang things off, but they're a little bit flimsy. And then the tie-down hooks are just things here, which once again are flimsy. Don't know what it is with Toyota. Some things are good, some things are really not so good, like this. To fold down the rear seats, pull that like that, and nothing happens, so you have to go around to lower them. And it's easy enough to do, I guess, but the opening isn't all that huge. And you're probably wondering just how much stuff can you fit in this car's boot. With those seats folded down, you can carry a bike in the car, but you will have to remove the front wheel, and it's quite tough to squeeze it through that narrow opening to get into the back seat area. With the seats back in place, you can carry 2 large suitcases and 2 small suitcases inside the boot. Then there's just enough space left to carry a set of golf clubs and a soft bag. If it's boxes you want to carry, there's room for 8 small boxes, but unfortunately, larger boxes will not go through that opening. Really, if you want to carry lots of stuff, if that's a priority for you, then you probably want a Skoda Superb. And if you click up there on the pop-out banner, you can see my full in-depth video review of that car. And that brings me on to 5 annoying things about the Toyota Camry. In the UK, the Camry is not available with Android Auto nor Apple CarPlay until sometime in 2020. Thanks for that, Toyota. Whenever you fold the seat backs down and put them back up, the central armrest just flops out. The auto door locks are super annoying, and you can't just get out if you're the passenger by double tugging. Sounds a bit rude. You have to flick this and then you can get out. It's just, why the extra step, Toyota? The seat belt for the central passenger doesn't really retract the full way, so it just kind of dangles there like an annoying droopy thing. The car has this weird aftermarket tuning morons wider exhaust surround, which annoyingly passes the CarWow stick of truth, but it won't foil the bottle of truth. Oh no, no, we've rumbled your game, Toyota. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. The Camry has a really clever air conditioning system, so as well as like blowing out air, it also releases ions which are surrounded by tiny water molecules, and they effectively moisturise your skin to help keep you looking younger. Maybe I should buy myself a Camry. This car comes with a 2,628,000 minute warranty, also known as 5 years. The car's hybrid system uses special compact batteries which are small enough to fit into the seat so they don't eat into boot space. This engine has a thermal efficiency of 41%, which probably means nothing to you, but it is better than any other road car. And what that means is it's better at converting fuel into forward motion rather than just wasting it as heat. Toyota has fitted an extra layer of special sound insulating material throughout the entire car to keep it nice and quiet inside, and so that you don't hear annoying noises too much from the outside. There's only one version of the Camry available in the UK. It's the hybrid, which has a 2.5 litre petrol engine mated to an electric motor for a combined 218 horsepower, which is good for 0 to 60 in 8.3 seconds, which isn't terrible. The good news is, if you fit this car with a 17-inch wheels, it will emit less than 100 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide, making it very tax efficient. Winner! This Toyota Camry is lovely to drive in town. So the suspension is super soft over potholes and speed humps, and you can actually drive it around on electric power alone for quite some time if you want to. Yeah, there's even an EV mode which locks it, but if you put your foot down or try to accelerate enthusiastically, the petrol engine soon kicks in and you do hear it a little bit. But it's quite a smooth transition. What's not so smooth though, the brakes, so you touch them and it's like, they're a little bit jerky. The steering is nice and light, and the turning circle is okay. It's not the best in the world, but it's not bad. You will be able to get round mini roundabouts and do U-turns if you need to. The automatic gearbox really helps in town as well, especially when you're doing manoeuvres and stuff. It's actually quite smooth at low speeds. For instance, I'm going to park the car now, and it's just so much simpler than having to mess around with a clutch and gear selector. So there we go, look, just dead easy to actually park into space because you've got really good all-round visibility. The dash is quite low, the pillars aren't too fat, so you can see exactly what's going on, and the camera helps out as well, so I like it for that. All done and dusted. The only problem is that I wish that wing mirror would decrease slightly so you could see where you are in relation to the curb so you don't scratch your alloys. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go drive it somewhere else. The Camry is a pretty good car for long distance journeys because on the motorway it's reasonably quiet Well, it is until you put your foot down. Then you get that droning noise from the engine because of the way the CVT gearbox keeps the revs at a constant rate. However, the acceleration is pretty decent. Now it was 50 to 70 and it's pretty quick to do that. The only problem is that will affect your economy, so don't do it too often because this is an economical car. So I'm averaging 51 miles per gallon, which is really, really good. Makes it a great alternative to a diesel if you don't want a diesel car. Where this car does start to fall down though is on a twisty road because it's a bit like making an old man run through an obstacle course. It's just not great. I have a sports mode and when you press it, it doesn't seem to do anything besides make a little red strip appear down there on the digital display. Yeah. Also, you can change gears yourself and there's like 6 different gears to choose from, but it doesn't feel like a normal gearbox because it's just like an artificial system created by that CVT system. So yeah, you don't bother with that. You're best just chilling out and taking it easy because if you want your big family car to actually be good on a twisty road, you probably want something like a Mazda 6. And if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can see my full in-depth video review of that car. For now though, we're going to run wide. Whoa. Oh, didn't like that at all. We're going to run wide in the Camry. Yeah, calm down, Matt. Calm down. It's a Toyota. Take it easy. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Toyota Camry? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I think if you want a practical family car that's very economical, yet isn't a diesel and is reliable, you should go ahead and buy it. But if you don't really, and you just want a car that's big and practical and useful and decent to drive, you should probably just consider it. Because while it is good, there are plenty of other alternatives which are better value for money. Do you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments section. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more videos. And if you click on the deals box to the right, you can see how much you can save on a new car at CarWow. Or click on the video windows below to watch another of my videos. This is the new Toyota RAV4, and Toyota has renamed what RAV stands for. You see, RAV used to stand for Recreational Activity Vehicle. Makes sense, doesn't it? 4 is obviously 4-wheel drive. But now they say that it stands for Robust, Accurate Vehicle, because that's more in keeping with the fact that this car is tougher. Actually, it is tougher. The body is 57% stiffer than the old RAV4. So yeah, don't worry, it's robust. Remember, they said so. It's fine. Now, this is the kind of car you're going to be looking at if you're considering something like a Volkswagen Tiguan or a Honda CR-V. This, though, is not available as a diesel at all. It's petrol only. In terms of starting price, the RAV4 range kicks off at just under £30,000, but you can save an average of around 1,700 quid off one through CarWow. Now, if you're thinking about buying a new car, click on the pop-out banner just up there, the top right corner of the screen, or follow the link below the video to see how much you can save on a new car through CarWow to make sure you're paying the right price. This new RAV4 looks way more interesting than the old one. I don't even mind the huge wheel arches. As standard, you get 17-inch alloys. These are the upgraded 18 and they've got a chrome effect on them, but all models get privacy glass at the rear, you get roof bars, and yet at the front as well. It's got a very distinctive face. I like it. Looks a bit like a stormtrooper in this colour. What's it like on the inside there? Well, let's have a look. It's pretty smart in here as well. I do like the design, it's interesting, and there's nice soft touch materials here on the dash with the stitching effect there, here on the door tops as well. There are some areas where it's not quite so great though. For instance, you've got scratchy plastics down here, here, up here, and just here on the handles. But then there's some other bits that do make up for that. Rubbery effect here on the inside of the door handle. There's rubbery effect here and even up here on the stereo controls. The layout of everything is fairly logical, but there are a few Toyotaisms in the way that the controls for the high beam light and the heated steering wheel and the rear windscreen wiper are here rather than with their associated controls. And I have noticed this, look, you do get a bit of wobble on the center console if you shake it, but it still feels pretty robust, and being a Toyota, it shouldn't break. What I'm not so keen on is this though, look, the lights are old-fashioned filament bulbs. Now though, let's talk about the RAV4's equipment levels. The range kicks off with the Icon, and that gets a 8-inch touchscreen and
a 7-inch digital driver's display. There's also automatic cruise control, which will slow the car to keep you a safe distance from the car in front. It will even work in stop-start traffic, and the steering will automatically steer to keep you in lane. And of course, there's also auto emergency braking if you don't spot that a car in front of you has stopped. The Icon also has dual zone climate control and automatic lights and wipers. Finally, you also get a reversing camera, and at the press of a button you can go to a wider view, and also you can change the look of the guidelines shown on the screen to help you park. The next trim level up is called Design, and that adds front parking sensors. You also get keyless entry and an electrically operated tailgate. You also get satellite navigation added to the car's infotainment system, which is kind of a must because the RAV4 does not come for now with Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto, though they may be added later, and you might actually be able to retrofit them if you've already bought a RAV4. Now, the design model for me is the sweet spot in the range because you've got the right amount of kit and it's a decent price. However, if you want a leather interior, you need to pay extra for this XL version. You also get electric operation of the driver's seat, heated seats and a heated steering wheel as well. It also gets blind spot monitoring and all LED headlights for a better view at night. Finally, there's the dynamic model, and that adds some sporty touches such as two-tone paint, black alloy wheels, black headlining and some sport seats. Okay, let's move on to the infotainment system. I do like the way that it's positioned up here, so you don't have to take your eyes too far off the road to see what's going on. In terms of the infotainment system itself, well, the screen isn't very high resolution, but at least it's colourful. The menus are laid out clearly and you get plenty of physical shortcut buttons, which is nice. They're easy to hit when you're driving. It's all pretty logical, but the screen isn't very responsive. The voice commands are okay, but they only work with specific phrases and it's quite limited. It is easy to import a destination into the satellite navigation system, but it takes ages for the system to calculate a route and even longer to add a waypoint. And overall, I don't think that the system in this car is quite as good as in a Kia Sorento. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of a Kia Sorento, just click up there, the pop-up banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or follow the link below the video. In terms of comfort here in the front, well, there is plenty of adjustment in the steering wheel, so that's good. The driver's seat, it moves far enough back or forwards, and you can jack it quite high or low. So whether you're big or small, you're going to be fine. One thing I have noticed though is that while this armrest here is super squidgy and soft, the one on this side is actually quite ow. That is not so good. As for practicality, well, you can fit a 1.5 litre bottle in the door bin, which is impressive. You've got a couple of cup holders there and they can hold a cup of coffee, and they're not too deep. You can't fit in a smaller cup without it knocking the lid off. The space there for your mobile phone and charging points, a 12-volt socket there, AUX in, and a USB charging port there as well. Space under the armrest with a little tray, and look, room underneath for some gloves. Don't ask why I carry those around with me. There's also some more USB ports under here as well. And then there's a little space here, which I wonder what it's for, but I think I figured it out, look. It fits an emergency tea bag there, just in case you need to stop and have a brew when you're on the move. And there's some of the weird kind of storage areas here. There's another one just up here where I keep my hand sanitizer. The glove box is only okay, but you get this other storage area up here, which I think is just perfect for me to keep my CarWow stick of truth. There's also a little slot down here, which is perfect for holding your cards. That's where I'm keeping my press card. Look. But you're surprised to find that I am in fact a genuine journalist. Anyway, let's move on to the back. Now, one of the things about this new RAV4 is that they've actually lowered the hip point, which makes it easier to just flop into. The doors, they don't open the widest, but they're wide enough. And yeah, it's still easy to get in to this car. And once you're in, look at this, right? So loads of knee room, and you can slide your feet under the seat in front to stretch out. Headroom, even with the optional sunroof, is okay for me, and people over 6 foot tall will be fine even with that in place. The middle seat is a bit raised, so it feels like a perch if you're in the middle, but because there's not too much of a hump in the floor, there is plenty of space for everyone's feet. In fact, it's actually quite good with 3 in the back because this is a very wide car, so even taller people who are sat on the outer seats won't feel like their heads are touching the roof where it curves in at the top of the windows. So that's good. What's not so good is this, look. So yes, you have an armrest with some cup holders, but there is no through loading at all. That is not very good on a car which is supposed to be designed for people with active lifestyles. Down here though, you do have a couple of charging ports, which is great, and there's a little pocket there to keep your iPad, but if you're sat behind the driver, look, you don't have one. You do have some decent sized door bins. Look, they fit that in there. And I love the fact that the windows are nice and large in the back, and it's great that they do go all the way down so you can lean out. Kids will really like that. Speaking of kids, when it comes to fitting a child seat, the ISOFIX anchor points are uncovered, so they're really easy to get to. And because you've got a lot of space in the back, it's dead simple to just maneuver the seat and lock it into place. If you have two child seats fitted in the back, you haven't got much space in between them. You might be able to squeeze a child in there, but your mother-in-law certainly wouldn't be able to fit. What a shame, eh? Now let's move on to the boot. So, in terms of the capacity, it's about average for this size of car. For instance, it's a little bit smaller than a Volkswagen Tiguan's. In fact, you could fit 13 extra of these in the Volkswagen's boot compared to this car's. But still, look, there's going to be enough room for a family's luggage. In fact, underneath the load cover, you can fit 2 large suitcases with 2 smaller suitcases on top. There's easily enough room for a baby buggy, a set of golf clubs and a load of soft bags as well. I also like the fact that you've got no load lip, so you can just slide things out dead easy. You've got some extra storage under here as well. There are the obligatory tether points there, and they feel quite expensive and tough. You've also got a 12-volt socket there if you need to power something like a drinks cooler. If you want to fold down the rear seats, it's a bit of a faff because you have to lean in like that. There are no releases in the boot here or here like you have on some other cars, but once you do have the seats down, look, you can see you get a completely flat floor, so it's dead easy to slide things to the front. And with the seats folded, this car's capacity is slightly bigger than a Volkswagen Tiguan. So you can fit 2 large boxes across the back seat with a smaller one sitting in between. And there's space for 11 more small boxes, 2 large suitcases, 1 small suitcase and 2 soft bags. And by the way, try to specifically design this load bay to be long enough to be able to swallow a bike with both its wheels attached, because after all, this is a robust, accurate vehicle. Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car. This car constantly makes beeps and bongs at you. Whatever you do, it always seems to just make a right old racket. Oh, gets on my nerves. The electric tailgate takes ages to close. Look, I'm going to time it. Come on, come on. Imagine if it's raining. Be annoying, wouldn't it? Is it there yet? Come on. That's it properly shut. 12 seconds. You might expect an edgy looking SUV to have a horn that sounds a little bit like this. But no, the actual sound of the RAV4's horn is this. You might think that this car passes the CarWow stick of truth because look, real exhaust pipes. However, the XL model fails on a technicality because look, you've got these huge chrome surrounds which are fake. I mean, look, I can wedge the stick in there. The brakes make an odd sound, listen. Then you get that drilling sound. What's that all about? It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. You see these bumps on the roof? Well, they're specifically designed to help the air flow across the top of the vehicle, and that reduces drag when you're driving at speed, which helps improve the economy. Check this out. So look, the car's load cover is hidden underneath the false floor until you need it, which is absolutely brilliant, as is the fact that if you want, you can reverse the floor so that you've got a wipe down surface. Perfect if you've got a dirty dog that you need to carry in your car. You don't have to worry about the backs of your trousers getting dirty by rubbing against the sills if the car's been driving on a muddy road, because look, they'll always be clean thanks to the fact that look, the doors, they extend all the way over and they're protected by cladding. Don't worry, it'll come off. 4-wheel drive versions of the RAV4 have something called trail mode. Now when it's selected, it alters the changes from the gearbox and the throttle response, so it's just a little bit better for driving on slippery surfaces. Also, if the car detects one of its wheels is losing traction and starting to spin, say it's off the ground, it will automatically brake that wheel to send the power to the wheels that do have grip to get you going again. Being a Toyota, the RAV4 gets a 5-year warranty. Mwah! That was weird. The engine lineup for the RAV4 is pretty simple because there's just one hybrid. And that's it. So that uses a 2.5 litre petrol engine and it's mated to an electric motor. And then you have 215 horsepower, which is good for 0 to 60 in around 8 seconds, which is all right. You can get the RAV4 with front wheel drive or all wheel drive, though all wheel drive is not available on the entry level car. I'm not sure you need it either because it does cost an extra £4,000. Now it is important for you to make sure that you're paying a fair price for a car. So what you should do is go onto the CarWow configurator, put the details in. So I'll do it for this car, the RAV4 front wheel drive XL, and I got an offer back for just under £33,000. So if you want to check the price of a car you're looking at, click on the pop-out banner in the top right hand corner of the screen or follow the link below the video to use the CarWow configurator. The RAV4 is really nice to drive in town for two reasons. The first is that being a hybrid at slower speed, you just coast along silently using the battery power and the electric motor. Now if you need to and you put your foot down, the petrol engine does kick in to give you a burst of power. And the second reason is that being an SUV, you sit up high so you get a good view forward. Also, that raised driving position and long wheel travel means this thing's good over speed humps. Another thing is that this car feels pretty settled over bumpy roads. It's not too bad at all. Now, one of the things with hybrid cars is that when you're braking, the first part of your braking engages the car's inverter, which then charges up the battery, and it can make the brake pedal feel a little bit inconsistent. Now let's see how easy it is to park this RAV4. Big wing mirrors, and these pillars as well. They're quite thin, so they don't create much of a blind spot. Also, the steering's nice and light, so that's good. The reversing camera is helping me out quite a bit. I do wish that the mirror over there would tilt down, but it doesn't. But it's quite easy. The only real issue in terms of visibility is the pillars. They're quite fat. That's it, done. Right, let's get on with the final in-town driving test. Right, and let's see how manoeuvrable this car is. So here's a mini roundabout. It should be fairly easy to get around because this car has quite a tight turning circle for an SUV. It's better than a Volkswagen Tiguan's. It's also better than a Honda CR-V's. And yeah, that was an absolute piece of cake. On the motorway, the RAV4 is a pretty good long distance car. The seats are nice and comfy and soft, but still supportive. Also, it's reasonably quiet. You do get a bit of tyre noise and a little bit of wind whistle from those big door mirrors. It's not quite as quiet as a Citroen C5 Aircross. In fact, you can see my in-depth review of the Citroen C5 Aircross just by clicking up there on the pop-out around the top right-hand corner of the screen. What does spoil the ambience though is this. I'm going to accelerate from 50 miles an hour, see how long it gets to 70. Yeah, engine picks up well. We've got a bit of added punch from that electric motor, and that's 70. But did you hear that? The drone from the gearbox. What happens is it actually holds the engine's revs at a fixed point where the engine is most efficient, which is good. The bad thing is that then it makes the engine just sound like it's going Aah! It's like, and it gets on your nerves. Now, the reason they have this kind of gearbox known as a CVT is because it does improve the economy. So let's check out the economy on this car. So that's what I'm averaging. It's all right. Let's see what this Toyota RAV4 is like when you encounter a twisty road. So I'm going to put it into sports mode, which has added some weight to the steering and it's made the throttle a little bit more responsive. And I've got some red detailing on the speedo. Sporty. Not really. Not really at all. This car goes around corners well enough. It doesn't lean too much in the bends and it grips the road okay. The RAV4 is more of a cruiser. Decent cruiser though. Now, if you quite like a family SUV, but really want a diesel, then click up there on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or follow the link below the video to watch my in-depth review of the Volkswagen Tiguan. But back to the RAV4 now and my verdict. So, should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Toyota RAV4. It's a practical, good to drive and economical family SUV. Do you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments section. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more videos. And if you click on the deals box to the right, you can see how much you can save on a new car at CarWow. Or click on the video windows below to watch another of my videos.
Sports car lovers rejoice. The next generation Toyota GR86 has arrived. Born from years of rigorous testing on the racetrack, few vehicles embody the excitement of driving as thoroughly as GR86. And this all-new version is cranking that mentality up to the max. With its endlessly energetic personality, it's no wonder GR86 has earned the stamp of approval from Akio Toyoda himself. He may be the president of the Toyota Motor Corporation, but when he puts on his racing helmet, he becomes Morizo, his alter ego as Toyota's lead master driver, and the only one who can decide if a vehicle deserves a Gazoo Racing Badge, or GR. Since GR86 now falls under Toyota's GR Performance brand, it sits right alongside the legendary GR Supra in the Toyota family. And within its own lineup, the new model will be offered in two grades, GR86 and GR86 Premium, both of which can be equipped with either a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission with paddle shifters. For GR86, performance is the name of the game, and this new generation takes a big step forward here. GR86 may already be known for its telepathic, impeccably balanced handling, and that's taken even further for this all-new generation, with improved aerodynamics and a chassis that's nearly 50% stiffer than before. That said, its new powertrain deserves time in the spotlight as well. This boxer engine remains naturally aspirated to make the most of its brilliant responsiveness, but it's now 2.4 liters in size, an increase of 20% over the previous generation. As a result, it now puts out 228 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, as well as 184 pound-feet of torque at just 3,700 RPM, an impressive 2,700 RPM sooner than before. Like the previous generation, either a 6-speed manual transmission or paddle-shifted 6-speed automatic transmission can be used to send power to the rear, where a Torsen limited slip differential helps ensure all that new torque finds its grip on the pavement as intended. All told, 0 to 60 times have been shaved down to just 6.1 seconds for manual models and 6.6 for automatics. All that being said, GR86's appetite for speed is kept in check through confidence-inspiring ventilated brakes, 11.6 inches up front and 11.4 in the rear. On the outside, GR86's new design radiates refined athletic performance with its optimal front-engine, rear-drive sports car proportions, low, wide, with a cabin set far back behind a long hood. And it takes this aggressive styling to the next level with an array of sporty design elements, like functional air inlets and brake cooling vents up front, available 18-inch wheels along the side, and a rear duckbill spoiler out back. But when it comes to premium exterior features, GR86 delivers here too, with a smart key system for easy vehicle access, and standard LED lighting that features an adaptive front lighting system on premium models. Unsurprisingly, GR86's cabin remains extremely driver-focused for its second generation. Case in point, the awesome new 3-mode digital instrumentation that offers different designs depending on whether it's in normal, sport, or track mode. Similarly, the front seats are made for action, with a deep bucket design with side bolsters to help keep driver and passenger supported during serious cornering. But that's not to say it's light on premium touches though, with leather-trimmed accents on the parking brake, shift boot, steering wheel for automatic models, and even the seating itself for the premium grade. Sports car or not though, GR86 still offers the practicality needed for daily driving. It comes with standard automatic climate control with a digital display, as well as a 2x2 seating arrangement that allows for passengers in back. In fact, those rear seats can be folded down to maximize 86's cargo capacity, enough for a full set of tires for track day in fact. GR86's tech story isn't all under the hood. Its interior offers loads of entertainment and connectivity thanks to its 8-inch touchscreen audio system. This system features 2 USB ports, as well as standard compatibility for Apple CarPlay, which connects drivers to Apple Music, Maps, Messages, and other favorite apps from your iPhone. In addition, Android Auto compatibility makes it easy to stay connected to Android devices. Plus, there's also a standard 3-month SiriusXM All Access trial subscription to more than 300 radio channels accessible throughout the country, as well as a range of seriously handy connected services subscriptions. For a vehicle geared towards performance driving, safety is critical. Like all modern Toyota vehicles, GR86 includes a STAR safety system, while automatic transmission models take it a step further with standard active safety systems like pre-collision system, lane departure alert with automatic high beams, and adaptive cruise control. Even in terms of passive safety, 86 now features 7 airbags, including a driver's knee airbag. With this 2022 model, the Toyota GR86 ushers in a new era of responsive, fun-to-drive performance. And this is all combined with Toyota's legendary quality and dependability. Great ownership value through services like the Toyota Care Maintenance Plan and a complimentary 1-year membership to the National Autosport Association, the same one offered to GR Supra owners that comes complete with a high-performance driving experience and discounted admission to NASA-sanctioned events. It's obvious how this GR86 is the sports car to beat for a whole new generation. Get behind the wheel yourself this fall. More than 20 years ago, the Toyota Prius changed the automotive landscape when it introduced the world to modern hybrid technology. That's certainly something worth commemorating. And to this day, Prius is still making huge waves across the industry. So let's find out why it continues to be the smart decision for drivers worldwide. The latest Prius generation offers 6 distinct takes on the hybrid experience, so drivers can find their ideal vehicle. First, L-Eco has the best fuel efficiency of the entire Prius lineup, while also having the lowest starting price. From there, the LE, XLE, and Limited grades each take the feature list up a notch, further refining the Prius experience with their added style, comfort, and convenience offerings. And as the names imply, the LE all-wheel drive and XLE all-wheel drive grades come standard with Toyota's all-wheel drive E system for added traction and control in the elements. And to celebrate 20 years of Prius in the US, the new 2020 edition showcases an unexpectedly sleek, stylish version of Prius with a limited production of only 2020 vehicles. Prius is recognized around the world for its fuel-efficient design, but it raises the bar even further with technological innovations that enhance the driving experience and also conserve resources. Even the air conditioning system is designed for maximum efficiency, with a smart flow mode that only sends airflow to occupied seats. And all grades feature a touchscreen audio multimedia system with Apple CarPlay compatibility, which connects drivers to Apple Music, Maps, Messages, and other favorite apps from your iPhone. Prius also now includes Android Auto compatibility on most grades, which makes it easy to stay connected to Android devices, while Amazon Alexa compatibility keeps Amazon's digital assistant just a question away. Plus, there's a 3-month SiriusXM All-Access trial subscription to more than 300 radio channels accessible throughout the country. And at the top of the lineup, Prius Limited features a vibrant and large 11.6-inch touchscreen display with a 10-speaker JBL sound system, a standard adaptive front lighting system, and a color head-up display that projects vehicle information right in line of sight. Select Prius grades also add conveniences like Qi-compatible wireless charging and a smart key system for easy vehicle entry. Similarly, most grades feature an intelligent clearance sonar system that alerts drivers to surrounding objects and can automatically brake to avoid a collision at low speeds, as well as intelligent parking assist so drivers can let Prius take the wheel when squeezing into a tight spot. Prius features an artfully sculpted exterior design, and it's not just for looks. The vehicle's shape actually helps enhance efficiency by cutting through the air with less resistance. And when it comes to lighting the way, all Prius models offer full LED lighting in both front and rear, providing better visibility while also saving energy. Additionally, Prius's 2 all-wheel drive grades also feature fog lights to assist during poor weather conditions, while the available adaptive front lighting system is even capable of swiveling the headlights to better illuminate the road around corners. And the available 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels can be topped with black or titanium-finished inserts for some extra attitude. The perfect way to round out Prius's eye-grabbing exterior. Finally, the new 2020 edition makes a big entrance with its blackout headlights, 17-inch black wheel inserts, black badges, a color-keyed rear deck spoiler, and more. Perfect complements to either the available supersonic red paint color or the sleek new available Windchill Pearl. Like outside, Prius's interior is easily recognizable for its striking design, but it goes way beyond iconic styling. The spacious cabin offers plenty of room for passengers, while the available Softex trimmed heated front seats help deliver an even more comfortable ride on cold days. Likewise, a lift-back layout means Prius is rated with up to 50.7 cubic feet of cargo space, the perfect storage setup for carpools and impromptu road trips. The vast cargo capacity is achieved thanks to the standard 60-40 split fold-down seat design, which provides ample room for your tent or snowboard. But if that's still not enough, the available cargo crossbars on Prius offer even more storage and possibilities for your next adventure. And for a little more excitement on the journey, the 2020 edition customizes Prius's interior with limited edition floor mats and a black shifter. Safety is a top priority for Toyota, so it's no surprise that the entire Prius family has been designed for passenger and pedestrian well-being. To this end, all Prius models now feature Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. This advanced safety suite includes a pre-collision system enhanced with low-light pedestrian detection and daytime bicyclist detection, lane departure alert with steering assist and road edge detection, automatic high beams, and full-speed range dynamic radar cruise control. TSS 2.0 also includes two new systems not found on the previous Toyota Safety Sense platforms. Lane Tracing Assist, which helps keep Prius centered in its lane while DRCC is operating, and Road Sign Assist, which is designed to recognize certain traffic signs and display them on the instrument panel. The entire Prius family also includes Star Safety System, 10 airbags with the addition of 2 rear seat mounted side airbags, an integrated backup camera to help see what's happening out back, and an available blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert system to help keep an eye on hard-to-see areas. Prius is renowned for its fuel economy estimates, but the hybrid electric powertrain also thrills drivers with an unexpected level of performance, thanks in part to the immediate torque delivery of the electric motor, but also the underlying TNGA platform and its independent rear suspension, perfect for when the roads get twisty. That said, efficiency is still the name of the game with Prius, and that applies to the all-wheel drive models as well. In fact, Prius is the most fuel-efficient vehicle equipped with all-wheel drive, with an EPA estimated 49 miles per gallon combined that still has the capability to trek through challenging conditions. This on-demand all-wheel drive system relies on an electric motor that only powers the rear wheels when needed, and it can operate at speeds up to 43 miles per hour. In the Prius family, there's a fuel-efficient vehicle for everyone under the sun. This iconic hybrid continues to revolutionize its segment every year, adding high-tech safety and convenience upgrades that help inspire the drive while also saving energy. And for even more electric capability, the related Prius Prime lineup offers plug-in hybrid technology that has 133 mpge in EV mode and 640 miles of total driving range. But whether you prefer Prius LE all-wheel drive's off-road utility or Prius Prime's electric efficiency, there's no shortage of reasons why the Prius family is a wise choice for drivers who want a game-changing hybrid. Plus, Prius is offered at an approachable MSRP, with a strong track record for long-term cost estimates and overall resale value. Factor in the 2-year, 25,000-mile Toyota Care no-cost maintenance plan with enhanced 3-year roadside assistance, as well as exceptional hybrid warranty coverage like the 10-year, 150,000-mile hybrid battery warranty. And Prius shines like no other hybrid on the market. For the past 4 years, the Toyota Highlander has been the best-selling retail vehicle in the extremely competitive midsize SUV segment. And this 4th generation raises the bar even further thanks to its injection of serious style, performance, and premium features. Highlander's lineup includes gasoline and hybrid, front-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive variations across 6 grades, with some new configurations, including the all-new XSE. Let's learn more. To craft Highlander's exterior appearance, Toyota's designers sought to achieve an organic blend of power and sophistication. With its sculpted styling, Highlander makes a statement whether it's pulling up to the restaurant for date night or cruising down the highway with your crew on an epic road trip. This exterior isn't just about looks though, with Highlander also offering standard LED lighting on all grades, including the freshly updated projector-style lamps that were previously only featured on Limited and Platinum. Highlander's exterior also sports an available moonroof, or, in the case of the Platinum grade, a power panoramic view moonroof. Roof rails are also available, as is a hands-free power rear liftgate that enables cargo area access even with hands full of grocery bags or sports equipment. Finally, the aggressive new XSE grade boasts a sporty front bumper, grille, and lower spoiler. Unique 20-inch machined face alloy wheels, plenty of black exterior accents, and even a twin-tip exhaust, a first for the Highlander family. The 4th generation Highlander has a premium interior that's sure to impress both driver and passenger alike. From its driver-focused interior layout to the dash-integrated design of its touchscreen multimedia systems. But Highlander's interior goes far beyond its style, with its great convenience features including a standard power driver's seat, in-dash storage areas, and rear seat reminder. There's also available rain-sensing wipers and an available 1500-watt cargo outlet on select hybrid trims. Highlander doesn't come up short on comfort offerings either, with standard 3-zone automatic climate control, several available features like heated and ventilated front seats, heated second-row seats, and heated steering wheel, and even standard leather-trimmed seating on Limited and Platinum grades. Plus, XSE offers 2 unique interior choices, including a red and black 2-tone leather-trimmed interior with red stitching. Like the exterior, Highlander's interior benefits from the TNGA platform, which helps deliver improved cargo space behind the 3rd row, as well as impressive passenger room in both 8 or the available 7-passenger seating configuration. In terms of in-cabin technology, every Highlander starts with standard compatibility for Apple CarPlay, which connects drivers to Apple Music, Maps, Messages, and other favorite apps from your iPhone. In addition, Android Auto makes it easy to stay connected to Android devices, while Amazon Alexa connectivity keeps Amazon's digital assistant just a question away. Plus, there's a 3-month SiriusXM all-access trial subscription to more than 300 radio channels accessible throughout the country. Highlander offers great convenience features as well, including available Qi-compatible wireless charging that keeps drivers from fumbling for a cord, as well as 5 standard USB ports for charging your own hardware. And on select models, drivers can feel like the DJ of their crew with the available JBL sound system that pumps 1200 watts of power through its 11 premium speakers. This audio multimedia platform simply offers a variety of entertainment choices, whether it's music, podcasts, audiobooks, or catching up on phone calls, as well as multiple navigation options, all of which comes together to help make every trip fun and stress-free. Plus, drivers can enjoy the large 12.3-inch touchscreen display, standard on Platinum and available on Limited. Similarly, the convenient and standard smart key system enables drivers to leave the key fob in their purse or pocket when starting, entering, or exiting the vehicle. Highlander also supports Toyota's line of connected services, including standard Wi-Fi Connect compatibility on all models, and available Remote Connect to locate your vehicle, lock or unlock the doors, and even start the engine, all from your mobile device. Highlander's emphasis on safety is clearly evident in its standard Toyota SafetySense 2.5 Plus suite of active safety systems. This updated bundle includes pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, now with intersection support enhancement and a driver-initiated emergency steering assist enhancement. Lane departure alert with steering assist, automatic high beams, full speed range dynamic radar cruise control, now with curve speed management, lane tracing assist, and road sign assist. And for added peace of mind, Toyota Safety Connect service also comes standard with roadside assistance, an emergency assistance button, stolen vehicle locator, and, in case of an accident, automatic collision notification, allowing Toyota's 24/7 response center to notify emergency services with the vehicle's location. Highlander further rounds out its safety story with standard blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert on all models except L, as well as useful features like available front and rear parking assist and automated braking, and an available digital rear view mirror that shows what's behind the vehicle, even when the cargo area is packed with items. While Highlander's powerful engines ensure that it has no shortage of get up and go, its real performance lies in its incredible efficiency and capability. To this end, Highlander's hybrid models have rewritten the book on what's possible for this segment, thanks to an EPA-estimated 36 mpg combined on the front-wheel drive variants. The other key performance story is Highlander's capability and versatility, which can be seen in its newly expanded drivetrain offerings. For Highlander's 4th generation, hybrid models will be offered in front-wheel drive, perfect for Sunshine State drivers that don't need the added traction of all-wheel drive and would prefer a lower cost of entry instead. Of course, Toyota's hybrid electronic on-demand all-wheel drive system remains a staple for those who do need extra traction. And for gas models, a choice between front-wheel and all-wheel drive continues for the latest generation, but now there are 2 all-wheel drive options: a mechanical system and a sophisticated dynamic torque vectoring system available on XSE, Limited, and Platinum that can distribute engine power to the left and right rear wheels as needed to enhance traction. Additionally, both of these gas all-wheel drive systems include standard multi-terrain select, meaning that drivers can enjoy environment-specific capability off the pavement, whether in a Vermont snowstorm or on a San Diego beach. And as icing on the cake, both of these all-wheel drive systems also feature the fuel-saving driveline disconnect function to help drivers get every last mile out of their tanks. Built on the TNGA platform, Highlander's chassis strength and suspension design help to enhance vehicle agility while also ensuring a smooth and quiet ride. And for those after sportier steering and more responsive handling, XSE's suspension system and power steering have been tuned to deliver a more engaging driving feel. Highlander's value story is set to continue shaking up the segment in a big way, just as it's done since its 2001 debut. And that means more than just approachable pricing. It also means ownership perks like the Toyota Care no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance, and great coverage like the 8-year 100,000-mile hybrid system warranty and the 10-year 150,000-mile hybrid battery warranty. Rounded off with a famous reputation for quality and long-term value, and it's clear that Toyota has another home run on its hands.
What's new with RAV4? In short, everything. Toyota's 5th generation small SUV boasts a bold exterior and interior design, a meticulously assembled engine under the hood, and a long list of safety, convenience, and comfort features that help solidify its no-compromise mentality. And because so much has changed with the 5th generation RAV4, many of the manufacturing processes that go into making RAV4 are also new as a result. And naturally, like all Toyota models, a lot of hard work and dedication goes into building RAV4. So let's take a few minutes to explore how quality, durability, and reliability are not only manufactured into every aspect of RAV4, but the entire Toyota vehicle lineup, right from where they're assembled and built. In North America, RAV4 is assembled at 3 facilities, 1 in Kentucky and 2 in Ontario, the last of which is dedicated solely to RAV4. The team in Woodstock, Ontario prides itself in being responsible for putting hundreds of thousands of RAV4s on the road each year. So, where does it all begin? The manufacturing process starts with sheets of metal, which are stamped into body panels like the hood, roof, and liftgate. These 3 panels are specifically constructed using high-strength aluminum, since it's lighter than traditional steel. This adds to RAV4's fuel efficiency. The body panels are then welded together to make up RAV4's Toyota New Global Architecture, or TNGA base chassis. Within a matter of minutes, thousands of intricate welds are performed by hundreds of robots.
The body shop is a birthplace of the car. That's somebody's car. And that's somebody's independence, that's somebody's freedom, that's somebody's everything. And that's important to that person. So we got to make sure we do a good job on that car.
Once completed, the underbody is carefully checked by a team member using a Toyota certified chisel and hammer and ultrasound technology in order to confirm weld integrity. Weld integrity checks are a global Toyota process to ensure built-in quality and safety across all models. While this process itself isn't new, one aspect of it certainly is. Team members now wear an advanced exoskeleton while performing these checks.
The exoskeleton is something that we introduced at this model change. We have a process that requires team members to be checking underneath the car for about 20 minutes at a time with their arms over their heads. So what the exoskeleton does is it allows some support for their arms to hold overhead. So those muscles that they would normally use to have to hold up their arms don't get fatigued.
After this quality check is performed, RAV4 heads over to the paint shop. For proper paint adhesion, paint shops across Toyota facilities are tightly regulated to ensure every vehicle has a vibrant exterior color. Once that's done, the RAV4 emblem is placed on the body, while RAV4 Hybrid also gets its unique badging applied to the front fenders and liftgate. Now it's time to get started on the interior. But to do that, all 4 doors must first be removed in order to put together the cabin efficiently. Like all Toyota models, safety is a key aspect found throughout RAV4, and that includes its interior. So to that end, each RAV4 features 8 airbags throughout its cabin. After that, the headliner, which is stitched robotically, slides right in, along with the front and rear seats. And for the 5th generation, the dash assembly is now hand-stitched, requiring hours of training for each team member to master.
With the RAV4, the one word that pops into my mind, especially with the stitching, is just pride. I know when I get in a vehicle, that's the first thing I look at, especially since it's kind of right in front of you every time you're in that vehicle. So for me, yeah, the biggest thing is pride, knowing that, I stitch these, or some of my colleagues stitch these, and, they're going in every vehicle, every RAV4, and it's gonna be something that the general public sees every single day.
Next up, RAV4's glass gets installed, which includes the windshield and rear window, and if equipped, the available power tilt slide moonroof. RAV4's available digital rearview mirror, a first for Toyota's US lineup, is also installed here. Now let's get back to those doors. Having already been painted, they now head over to the door line, where components like the speakers, wiring, interior door panels, and side windows are installed. Needless to say, each door assembly is dependent upon RAV4's grade, as interior trim, speaker count, and more can vary. Lastly, the doors are then reattached to the body, making it whole once again. So now that RAV4's exterior and interior are complete, it's time to assemble and install its beating heart, the engine. RAV4's engine is assembled at 2 of Toyota's facilities right here in America, located in Huntsville, Alabama, and Buffalo, West Virginia. And both are responsible for producing several engines for Toyota's US lineup. including the 2.5-liter Dynamic Force 4-cylinder engine inside RAV4. So let's take a look at how it all comes together. The engine block comes in and is slowly transformed into a recognizable motor by skilled team members as it makes its way down the assembly line. Throughout this entire build process, each engine undergoes a significant number of quality checks, which is a standard process that occurs across Toyota facilities.
The quality for this RAV4 engine is exceptional. Every 60 engines, which is the equivalent of 1 hour of production, we stop all lines for 1 minute. We do quantitative checks.
Quality is a major focus at Toyota in general. We check every nut, bolt, stud we put on. We have visual checks throughout, and then we have a gate control at each line to make sure we're keeping quality in mind is consistent.
It's clear that there's no shortage of touch points with the engines, and even before they get started, team members across all Toyota facilities are required to safely and successfully complete thousands of build repetitions and must be able to perform multiple rotational processes in order to be officially certified to build Toyota engines. This means the human element during the entire process plays a very important role, which helps ensure each engine is a high-quality build. Once the engines are done being tested, they're shipped out to join the chassis. So to finish up, let's head back to the factory in Woodstock, Ontario. To install the powertrain, RAV4 goes up on a lift to make it easier to maneuver under. The front and rear suspension are put in place first, followed by the engine, which is connected to the transmission. And because RAV4 now has 3 available all-wheel drive options, in addition to its standard front-wheel drive, the drivetrain can vary depending on trim. While on the lift, RAV4's dual exhaust is installed as well. Once the assembly is finished, RAV4 is ready for one final quality check before leaving the factory. RAV4's final quality check is done under special LED lighting. This bright lighting helps team members spot any imperfections, both on the outside and the inside. A process duplicated at Toyota facilities in North America and abroad. Once it passes this final check, RAV4 is driven off the assembly line, with some vehicles even heading onto the test track, where they undergo noise, vibration, and harshness testing, and more driving tests to ensure quality, durability, and reliability. Just like all Toyota models. Once everything checks out, RAV4 leaves the factory to begin its journey to your local Toyota dealership.
People are excited about this model of the RAV4. They enjoy building it. They like seeing it on the road. They like talking about it. They like being part of a company that builds such a successful vehicle.
At Toyota Canada, a RAV4 model comes off the assembly line every 60 seconds and takes 26 hours from steel to rail. This tight production schedule lets Toyota keep supply on par with RAV4's serious demand. So now that we've gone over what makes the 5th generation RAV4 so special, it's time to get behind the wheel and experience it firsthand.
I'm tracking. I like it. I just don't want anyone to think the car can't make a turn.
Right. Just in case.
Hold up. We could add some corners.
I'm just
just not feeling that this super aggressive driving is going to resonate with the target demo. I mean, who actually watches these sorts of films?
Okay, how about this? Supra cruising through a city at night, okay? Your classic sheet metal car spot. Driver takes a wrong turn.
Okay. Sounding good. Sounds better. More of what we've done before.
Suddenly he finds himself in the middle of a drift race.
Wait, what?
Does it have to be a wrong turn? Can we utilize the navigation to make sure the driver takes the right turn? Huh?
Turn left onto West Temple Street.
That navigation is such an exciting feature. Thrill of the road.
So no aggressive driving.
No.
How about not driving?
Hero front 3/4 angle beauty shot.
Burnout, a celebration.
Burnout?
So cool.
Can we do it without the smoke?
And can we do it with the VSC on so the car doesn't lose traction?
How about pizza delivery?
Okay.
Okay, trash truck plows through the delivery bikes. Formula D driver is waiting for his pizza. Says he'll deliver them in his Supra.
How about Freddie? He would be great at
Oh
this.
my gosh, yes, he would drive it like he stole it.
Stole it. We can't have any criminal intent or associations with theft. Come on, guys.
He wouldn't be stealing any pizza.
So what would he be stealing?
Nothing.
What?
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 What? Fast Freddy's Pizza?
Love that.
Okay, let's go.
I've got one. Can't we do something about the hatchback making a really practical car for grocery shopping?
Oh, I see it.
Trunk volume.
How would a Supra driver do the grocery shopping? Awesome.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a female presence. But the driver should really be wearing a helmet. Oh, and a race suit. You know, just to really show that it's not real.
Don't we want it to feel real?
No.
No. Why don't we just do a jump off a ramp into the sunset? 2000s internet style.
Will all 4 tires maintain contact with the pavement at all times?
Can we make this go viral? People like to